As an executive director of instruction in Houston ISD, I'm responsible for improving the quality of instruction, partnering with principals as they lead the campuses to success. Right now, I have a caseload of approximately, it's 8 campuses. 3 of those are elementary, and then the rest of those are middle schools. The map data has helped us understand where students are and how they're growing. It's been an awesome way to figure out what specifically students are low in, what they need assistance in, and pinpoint those skills so that we can personalize instruction and personalize intervention. Additionally, as a supervisor of principals, it helps me understand how well my campuses are growing students. And so I'm able to look at it from a school perspective as well, and it gives me major insight there. Schools are able to form their goals around it. So just like our students engage in goal setting, we explain to them what their goals are. Teachers do the same, and then so do principals. And so we're able to, again, compare. We can compare growth across campuses to see who's growing at a more accelerated rate. We can do year-over-year comparisons when we look at, okay, the rate that you're growing kids this year, or your CGI for this year for math, when you were last year, middle of year, you were here. You can see as a campus, are you effective at growing students? Students being involved with their map data, their goal setting, and understanding how much they need to grow is it's embedded in the fabric of who we are as a district. And so we have a process for how we administer the MAP assessment. And a part of the process is first setting goals with students. So when they take their BOY assessment, we are able afterwards to run the ASG report. And at this point, we're running it at the district level, right? The students' their projected growth is then pushed out to the campuses. And each campus has goal setting conferences with the students before they take the MAP assessment. So a student can have where maybe their RIT is 205 for math. Their goal might be 211 for middle of year. Well, if a student meets their 211 goal, they know that they've met the goal because we sit with them, we tell them, this is where you are. This is your goal, right? And then if they meet the goal, we conference with them again and we say, hey, you met your goal. And it's a really big deal across campuses. And so when we think about our student confidence and the idea that a student might grow from, I don't know, the 38th percentile to the 45th percentile, right? They're still below grade level, but celebrating the growth with that student and celebrating the fact that they met their goal is a huge thing. So the confidence factor for our students that are well below grade level, it really, really helps with that a whole lot. With our multilingual learners, we're doing 2 things. They test in English and they also test in Spanish. That data it informs our LPAC processes, where throughout the year, we're able to see which language is stronger for the student. And we're able to then ensure that by the time they get to the end of the year, we have them testing in their strongest language. It also will give a student a personalized report that explains which skills they need to work on in order to master, in order to grow, basically. And so what we're able to do is tailor their acceleration and their intervention based on those skills. And then lastly, it informs our parents. And so after students do take the beginning of year assessment, middle of year, and end of year, we not only send home our reports with the parents, but we also have conferences with our parents. One of my campuses, she's here today, Dogan, she has a parent data night where she pulls the parents in. They are able to look at their students' individual data. She explains to them what it all means and then explains to them what the goals are moving forward. And so those are some examples for our multilingual learners. The great thing about us using the platform consistently for the last 3 years is it's a norm, right? And so it's one where I'm talking to them about the data, I'm talking to them about what the goals are, but because we use it as an entire district, once they become a principal in HISD, their understanding of it is already normed across the board. And we use that for action planning. So even a new principal, I just got into the seat, what I can do is I can look again at my MAP trends for the last 2 years and actually know what I'm walking into. And then at beginning of year, I can have a realistic goal for middle of year just based on trend data, right? So we use the data to inform new principals and help them set goals for the future. I also use the STAAR Projected Proficiency report. And year over year, because this will be my 3rd year, I compare what it gave me as a projected proficiency to how kids did on STAAR. And it's pretty accurate. It's very close, right? So if you can imagine a situation where we didn't take the test at the beginning of year and middle of year, right? We would only be relying on whether students achieve proficiency on our unit exams or our district summative assessments, et cetera. Whereas with the MAP growth, students who may not have hit the proficient bar yet on those assessments, but that are demonstrating growth, we have a metric to show, hey, this student is growing or this campus is growing students. And it's very important for our turnaround campuses, right? Where again, the performance has been traditionally low. And I, as a principal, I'm coming in and I'm making an impact. But if the only thing you ever measure is whether or not the kid passed the test or whether the kid is at grade level right now today, then it's always going to look like our kids aren't succeeding. When in reality, measuring growth makes it clear that our students are succeeding and we're making an impact.